I've read quite a few books over the years, but apparently I haven't written as many reviews on them as I would have liked or thought that I did. So I'm going to make this a real thing that I stick to even a little bit. I'm going to have to go back and write up reviews on some of these books that I read that I feel warrant being discussed here on the channel. That said, I do have one called the Lactation Station. As the name implies, it's based on a fetish dealing with milky boobs. So, let's get into it. This is my first experience with said fetish. Story written by author Mary Chi. It's a very, very short story, and since I'm a busy person, I kind of appreciate short stories that I can zip through and still get my reading crave fulfilled. Okay, so the Lactation Station, let's set the background as we like to do. The Lactation Station follows the story of a young single mother trying to find her way in life. Though she's living with her parents and struggling to make ends meet, she's also fresh off giving birth, so her boobers are in prime feeding season, and so the plot thickens. After receiving a pass from a friend of the family who's been checking her out, these big bodacious boobs walking around the crib, our milk-carrying maiden realizes that her postnatal state temporarily makes her a walking cash cow. And yes, at the time, that pun was intended according to my notes. So, she decides to take advantage of this here situation. Short story made even shorter. She opens up shop with a business she calls the Lactation Station, which she uses to sell her melon milk to horny dudes via mail order. And that is the fucking gist of the story. This story was intriguing, it was fairly well written, and also a decent introduction to the lactation fetish. Transfer over to the erotica realm. And according to my research, there are quite a few books that apply this theme. At the same time, in my humble opinion, it didn't necessarily capture that hot, kinky essence that I look for in erotica. You know, it was alright. I just didn't feel like it was, it didn't necessarily stimulate me on that kind of level like some books do. I wasn't necessarily moved, if you get my drift. I'm not all that necessarily excited about boobs to begin with, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm more like an ass man, so maybe if the story was around selling butt milk, it would have been a little more appealing, but that might not necessarily turn out so well in execution, and it might be kind of gross if you dig too fucking deep into it, if you know what I mean. Anyway, if I had to grade this story on a 5-star scale, I would give it a solid 3. At the same time, I would recommend it to fans of erotica looking for something fresh. In the meantime, I look forward to reading more of these lactation-fueled stories and hopefully find something that can crank up the heat level just a wee bit more to satisfy my personal taste. But I hope everyone else enjoys it. It's not bad. It's definitely unique. It will be a unique read for most people. Unless you read about milky boobs all day, then it is what it is. I'm rambling. Peace out.